and the population of such good bacteria increases because they feed directly on the fiber. Yes.
What is the recommended amount of fiber that a person should consume in a day?
Okay, so it comes in grammages, but I mean, unfortunately, in our locality, we hardly, we don't weigh things.
Why?
But I mean, well, that is how it is. If you go to the outside world, what they do is that they sell foods in grammages, or foods are being placed on the shelves with specific grams added to it. But it's not something which is practiced here locally.
What do we do? Olonka or handful?
Yes, olonka or handful, or the cup. We say we are buying a cup of sugar, a cup of granules, a cup of... So what is that? If maybe you want to look at volume wise, that cup will be about, let's say, 150 mils. You take a 150 mils of water. Yeah, so that is a volume.
But the problem with that is that you have different cup sizes.
Exactly.
Your cup and my cup may not be the same.
So that is where the disparity and then the confusion is. So what it is that we have is, that's one thing that we have to do: standardize our foods and then the quantification of our foods. I mean, it's a whole project where that has to be done, so that we know that if you are talking about 5 grams of rice, it's 5 grams of rice across board, irrespective of the kind of this you are using. It's supposed to be 5 grams.
Okay. So in areas that they use, so for us, how do you determine what is the right amount of fiber?
So for us, one key way to determine an amount of fiber you take is to do more fruits and vegetables in our meals. What is that? If you look at the typical Ghanaian diet, we have less of vegetables and whole grains in our meals, and we tend to do more of the refined grains. So, and a key example is which was sourced from the brown rice. So they passed it through the factory, took out the outer covering, the husk, which contains the fiber, which is mainly the fiber.
So the brown rice actually has the fiber.
So the brown rice has the fiber.
And
the
polished
rice
and the perfumed rice does not have the fiber.
So you might see on the label of the rice, they are saying this particular rice is rich in fiber. I mean, this is a marketing gimmick. The brown rice is the main source of the dietary fiber. So the difference between the brown rice and the perfumed rice is because they've taken the fiber from it and then they've added some perfume just to get a very nice smell.
Oh, Mobo. So the brown rice that we look down on is actually the rice that is good for us.
Yes, the rice that is actually good for us. So we normally advise that because for most people who are used to taking the polished or perfumed rice, what we advise is that normally do half a cup of polished rice and add half a cup of brown rice to it. And that introduces some fiber into the rice that you are taking. Okay.
So brown rice is good.
Brown rice is good.
Where else can we get our source?
So we can get our source of fiber from oats. Our green vegetables are also key sources of fiber.
Like kontomire,
alefo, spinach, boko. I mean, name it. We don't have to even go far to the foreign vegetables. Our very local vegetables. Some people even use sweet potato leaves. Some use cassava leaves. All these are rich sources of fiber that we can include in our diet. Then also our grains. When you count our grains, even the nuts and seeds, like I said, agushi, which is a common or a local seed, is very rich in fiber. Then we have chia seeds, we have flax seeds, we have sesame seeds. You'll be so surprised that all these things I'm making mention of are much available in our markets, but just that we patronize them in a very low scale. So when you make mention of them, somebody is saying, wow, it is available. Yes, it's available in our locality.
How about groundnuts?
Yes, groundnuts also are a source of fiber. So even the outer covering of groundnuts, I mean, what most people normally take off and blow away.
They polish and
yes,
they are blowing away the fiber.
That is the main source of fiber in the distance. So it's like, for example, because you want to get an aesthetic value of the groundnut you are taking, you take out that particular part.
More for the
yeah. That is the main fiber in the distance. And what it is that it's not just the fiber that you are seeing; it comes along with vitamins, which key of which is B vitamins. And if you look at the digestion of carbohydrates, B vitamins is very necessary for carbohydrate digestion. So what is that? If you are doing more of the refined carbohydrates, which has little or no fiber, and that means that your digestion of carbohydrates is limited. But if you are taking meals that are rich in fiber, your carbohydrate digestion is maximized.
So what you're saying is that the groundnuts that we take time to shell and blow away, we're actually doing the wrong thing.
We're actually doing the wrong thing. So it's advisable we take the groundnut with the covering on it, or the thin outer covering on the groundnuts.
We're learning day by day. My guest is Aram King Doche. He's a registered and licensed dietitian, and we're looking at the importance of fiber in our diets. You can send your fiber-rich questions to 055 556 1034 1034, and we'll get some time to read them out for answers from Aram. How much fiber is too much fiber?
What is normally a fiber which is above 70 grams, a total fiber intake in a day, if you quantify it, it's above 70 grams. That is too much of a fiber you're taking at a time.
But we that don't, we don't even measure.
Yeah, so what is that? We are not even.
How heavy is 70 grams?
What is so if we take 70 grams, so basically, I mean,
say maybe if I take 2 slices or 6 slices of yam, how much fiber would that?
So that is very minimal. Yam has small amounts of fiber, so that might give you like about 5 grams or even 10 grams of fiber from the yam.
Which are the very rich foods?
So very rich foods that contain the fiber, like I said, the nuts and seeds, the fruits, especially let's say apple, mango, banana.
They are full of fiber.
They are full of fiber. Guava. These are very rich in fiber. So if I take about 3 or 4 pieces of guava or the guava fruit, that would be taking about 15 fiber you are taking at a sitting.
And we need how many grams per day?
So if for the adult women, they need about 21 to 30 and 28 grams of fiber per their kilogram body weight. So it is, I mean, our weights differ. So what is that to actually know the amount of fiber you need, the rule is 21 to 28 grams of fiber per kilogram body weight for the woman, and then for the men from 30 to 38 grams per kilogram body weight.
I'm 96.5 kilos.
Yes. So what is that? We have to do the mathematics to get the amount of fiber you need in a day. That is from the 24 hours intake.
But you see, these foods that are rich in fiber are also very rich in sugars. So if I eat a lot of, say, mangoes, will I not add to my weight?
So what is that? We're looking at portion control. So if you are looking at doing fiber, not just only from mango, so we always advocate for a colorful plate. So you have mango there, you have maybe the greens, let's say contomere, or let's say alefu or okra soup that you are taking, and then maybe you have like as part of the banku you are taking. So for example, what we do is that we are used to this cassava, but wheat, millet is also very rich in fiber.
Yeah.
So we could kind of, it's kind of like being adventurous. You could replace your corn dough with millet dough.
Nice.
Okay, so then now introduce more fiber into the banku you are taking. So when you add that up to the okra soup and then maybe the mango, which is a side dish you are taking with it, that increases your fiber. So what it is that because the mango is having higher amount of sugar, you've reduced the amount of mango you are taking, and then the vegetables, which have little or no carbohydrate or sugars in them, will increase your fiber intake.
So it looks like the Ghana flag almost. I mean, if you have your millet banku and then your mango and then your leaves.
Yeah.
So make it as colorful as possible.
Exactly. Yeah. So what is that? We are always advocating for having a colorful plate. Once you are looking at colorful, you have some leafy green, you have some yellow fruit or something there, purple, orange. I mean, once your plate is colorful, what it is that you are getting closer to achieving much of the fiber intake in your meal.
Is there a difference between fiber and dietary fiber?
Okay, so fiber is just like as a whole. Some other fibers have different uses in different industries, maybe for production of clothing and other things. But dietary fiber is referring to fiber that is good for consumption. Yeah. So what is dietary fiber is mainly again coming from the plant-based foods, like I said, the fruits, the vegetables, the nuts and seeds.
Fruits,
vegetables, nuts and seeds.
FVNS.
Yes.
Fruits, vegetables, nuts and seeds.
These are the main sources of fiber.
Write it down to remind myself.
Yes.
Nuts and seeds is fiber.
Yes.
Okay. Now, what happens to the human body when it is starved of fiber?
So one key thing that people normally experience when they are starved of fiber is, number one, is constipation. You see the person complain of constipation. So when your diet is very low in fiber, one key thing you tend to do is you have constipation. Now it is so because the fiber tends to draw in water when you eat. So the water helps to soften your stools.
Yes.
And also, secondly, the fiber also makes your stool bulky. As what is that? You have maximum production of stools that you can take out, and because the water softens the stool, it's able to come out easily.
Is it a myth that eating too much bread? Because anytime when I was younger, I used to suffer in the toilet. My mom said, "Stop eating all that bread. You eat too much bread. There's too much bread."
So what is that? The white bread that we take has little or no fiber, but the amount of fiber in that white bread is very minimal. So when you compare that white bread, that is wheat flour that has been refined. So the fiber has been taken from that wheat flour, polished again, and that is used for the white bread that we take, be it sugar bread, butter bread, or tea bread. That is white. That is refined flour that you are taking. So when you compare that to the whole grain or whole wheat bread, which has more fiber, with that one, if you have to take 2 slices, you are full. But then with the white bread, so you have to take a lot to be satisfied. Now because the more you chew in, the more the stomach has been filled up. If your stomach is not filled up, that sensation of satiety is not sent to the brain. So you see that you have to take more of the white bread to be satisfied.
It's tea bread and sugar bread, they're all made from white flour.
Yes.
That's how man cannot resist. You start eating you keep
eating
but with the brown bread.
With the brown bread,
you get full quicker.
When we say brown bread in Ghana, we have two variants of the brown bread. I mean, the one that they've colorized brown, and then we have what called the actual brown bread or the whole wheat bread, which has the fiber in it.
Okay.
So that one, the whole wheat bread, for that matter, contains more of the fiber.
Okay.
And because there's that fiber in it, you can't take a lot at a time.
Does banana contain fiber?
Yes, banana contains a type of fiber we call soluble fiber.
Okay.
Yes.
So the old ladies back in the day, if you were seriously constipated and fighting for dear life in the bathroom for hours, they suggest that you eat banana.
Yes.
And it will allow the
soften the
stool.
stools. Yes, that's because
so the science behind that.
Yes, because banana contains fiber. So once you you take more of the banana. What is that it even allows you to drink more water, and the more water you are taking, the more it helps to soften your stools, and as well it also draws water from the system to allow for stool softening.
The old ladies were scientists.
Yes. So I mean, what they were doing, there was a good science behind it. Yes.
Okay. So now you find out that you are deficient in fiber. What can you do can you take supplements apart from eating more fiber-rich foods? Can you take supplements?
Yes. So what it is that if you're looking at economics, I mean, then the question is what's the amount of supplements you have to take to increase your fiber needs for the day. So advisably, it's best you do more of the natural sources of fiber, which is from the plant sources, like I said, the fruits, vegetables, the nuts and seeds. This contain more fiber. So our advice is to do more of the vegetables, fruits, and nuts and seeds to increase your fiber intake.
She's wearing the color of green leafy vegetables, and she give us messages on the board. 055-556-1034. Thelma.
Good morning.
Yes.
So it's King Cup and King.
Yes, one time.
Messages on the screen. These are the thoughts of those who are sending them and not the thoughts of the presenters. Good morning to you. It's very good to know the importance of fiber in our diet, but can we also know some of the nutritional value of some of the foods that contain fiber, and when and how much do we have to take? I think is what Aaron Babakuko Komisa wants to know from Latebiokoshi in Accra. Shakes joins and says, good morning, Cafe, Mr. Dietitian. How rich are noodles in terms of fiber? Is introducing a lot of vegetables in your noodles a wise thing to do? Here's one that just came in. Good morning, my name is Joel. I'd like to ask, is there any medicine I can take that contains fiber? Kaf just asked that question right now. So 3 points on the screen to you.
Yeah, so basically most of the foods that contain fiber are packed with vitamins and minerals. And like I said earlier on, what is that? Our meals in Ghana diet, we have less of these fiber-rich foods in our diet. So what is that? We are lacking these. So aside the fiber that you are getting from such foods, you are getting a lot of vitamins and minerals, which are very, very beneficial for the body.
Is there fiber in fufu?
Yes, there's fiber in fufu, but then it's the amount you are getting from it.
It's not enough.
So if it's cassava, there's an amount of fiber in cassava, but it might not be enough as compared to when you do whole wheat or the brown rice.
Kenke?
Kenke too, yes, the kenke too has fiber. The maize so has fiber. So what it is that if you are taking more of kenke, you are getting some fiber from the kenke too as well. Tozafi too. Well, tozafi that is being prepared in Ghana, the flour which is being used has been sieved, so there's little or no fiber in the tozafi. Akple, well, if the flour hasn't been sieved, then there's some fiber in there. But like comparatively, if you compare that to, now what it is that when you mill the flour, when you mill the grain, it reduces the surface area of the fiber, and that reduces its potency.
Curry and beans.
So gari and beans, yes, the beans has more fiber, but not the gari. Yes.
There was some other questions there.
Noodles, so yes, he's asking if we can do lots of vegetables with your noodles.
Yes, so noodles on its own do not contain fiber. Oh. Yes, so adding a lot of vegetables to your noodles is a wise thing to do. So that balances it. So
a very wise
thing to do. Yes.
And then Aaron's question.
Aaron, what was the nutrients one and
some of the foods that contain fiber?
Yes. So we've gone through it. I'm glad Kenke is winning.
Yes.
Glad Kenke is winning.
All right, Thelma, thank you so much.
Thank you,
Karen. All right, that was Thelma with the messages on fiber. Keep them coming in. And Aaron, so for somebody who has heart disease or maybe high blood pressure, diabetes, what kind of fiber-rich foods would you recommend for those people?
So it will be a blend of the dietary fiber. We have two forms of dietary fiber. We have the soluble dietary fiber and then the insoluble dietary fiber. So for somebody who has this chronic disease conditions, a blend of the two will go a long way to help. Yeah. So the soluble fiber, like like I said, the vegetables, the green leafy vegetables. We also have the banana, which contain the soluble fibers.
How about watermelon? Does it have
Watermelon too has fiber. Yes, it has fiber in there. So even what is that? If you even take the watermelon together with the seeds, that adds extra fiber because the seeds of the watermelon has some fiber in there.
Oh, we should chew the seeds as well.
Yes. So what is that? If you even decide to blend the watermelon to get your watermelon juice, it's advisable to blend it together with the seeds.
Then
don't
throw
throw
the seeds away.
Don't throw the seeds away. That adds extra fiber to your watermelon juice you are taking.
Oh, young, they told us that if you swallow the seeds, you will start growing watermelons inside your stomach.
No, that's not true. That's not true. Yes. So and a more easier way to get benefits from the watermelon is to blend it together with the seeds. Then add some more fiber into it.
So for the fruits that have seeds, it's advisable that we eat the seeds as well?
Well, some of the seeds are not edible. So, for example, if you take oranges contain a lot of fiber, but the seeds are bitter. So, you don't want to add the seed to the juice, so that makes the taste a bit very bitter. Yes. So, what is that? If you look at, for example, some of the seeds of the fruits can be chewed on their own. Other than that, what you can do is that you can also decide to top up your juice, your vegetable juice, with some of these seeds, nuts and seeds, like I've said. For example, chia seeds is very rich in fiber, and that tops the list of the seeds that have high fiber content. So it's about adding this and adding that to get maximum benefits.
How about these granola meals where you have a mixture of seeds, bran?
Yes, so the granola meals also have fiber in there, but a concern for some of the granola meals is that they tend to add a lot of honey to it. Yeah. So if you're going for granola, you can look at the label of the granola. If there's less honey or less sweetening agents added to it, and that is better. Other than that, the nuts and seeds which have been roasted is good.
How about honey itself?
So honey doesn't contain fiber.
Okay.
Yes.
It's sugars, right?
It's sugars. Yes. Okay. It's sugars. So just to make your food taste nicer.
Okay.
Yes.
How much fluid should you be taking when you're eating a lot of fiber-rich meals?
Yeah. So ideally, 1 to 2 liters a day should suffice for your distance. So when you take this our bottle here, this bottle is 500 ml of water.
So 4 of these?
So yes, 4 of this.
Okay.
Yeah, so this is 2 cups of water.
Okay.
So that means 4 cups of water will give a liter.
Okay.
So 8 cups is 2 liters.
So every day mama must drink about 4 of these?
Mama must drink 4 of this. Yes.
All right. Okay. Man must drink, and woman too. And if there are more messages, the woman will come back. Her name is Thelma to read messages for us. How about fiber and the diet of children?
Yes, so fiber and the diet of children. Now, what is that? Children are picky eaters. So what you want to do is that you want to make their plate even more colorful.
You have to make their plate more colorful.
More colorful. That allows for that allows for them to appreciate for their food. And the other thing too is that because these children, most of them do not like vegetables, then you would like to blend the vegetables into their soups and then stews. Then that is adding some vegetables. So it could be carrots, which is rich in vegetables, which is rich in fiber, that you are blending into the soup or stew for the child. And then the green leafy vegetables as well are very rich in the fiber. So for the children, if you look at the fruits, you might want to blend the fruits for them. So like banana pudding or let's say watermelon juice, like I said earlier on, will be an excellent choice for the children.
Okay. We're wrapping this up shortly. What advice would you give to somebody who just tuned in this morning and is catching the tail end of our conversation on the importance of fiber in diet? What are the key things that they can take away from this conversation?
Yeah, so one key thing you can take away from this conversation is that number 1 is to include more whole grains and cereals into your meals. So we are looking at the whole grains. I'm talking about the brown rice. Like I said, you can have a fantastic mix of the brown rice and then the white rice. So if you take half cup of the polished rice, half cup of the brown rice. Other than that, you're going fully for the brown rice. The other thing to also do is that when you take your plate, you're looking about your half of your plate having more of the vegetables. And finally, also having colorful plates. I mean, when you have colorful plates, what makes the plate colorful is coming from the fruits and the vegetables. And once you have more of this on your plate, then your fiber intake is shooting up.
Okay, we'll leave it here. Thank you so much. Ayiram King Doche is a registered and licensed dietitian at the Greater Accra Regional Hospital, and you are now up to date with the importance of fiber in your diet. You can watch this conversation and listen to it again on our Facebook page. Look for GTV Ghana. Thank you all of you who are following us. Our numbers are going up and we're really happy for your patronage. So go to GTV Ghana's Facebook page and you will see this conversation. For those of you who want to watch the TV, Gani, tonight at 11:30 p.m. Those of you on night duty, you can get tuning to GTV on your TV, channel 278 on DSTV. all over again. Still to come today, we have conversations on gold for oil and what the CSOs, the civil society organizations, are calling for. We've also got a check-in at the Shatta Beach to find out how clean it is. Our beach ambassador, Daryl Alantego, is out and about, and he'll be giving you a report on that. We'll be looking at having a chat with Mabel Kwaji. She's a gospel musician, and one day she'll be as big as Sinach, who I was listening to yesterday on the BBC, and she's just global. She's doing great things. So Mabel Kwaji will be here as our breakfast guest. And remember, at noon today on GTV, while you are having your fiber-rich lunch, very colorful with the boko boko and the mangoes and the millet banku, you can also be watching great movies, African movies, Ghanaian and African movies on GTV. It starts today, movie time. From noon, make a date with GTV. It goes down really, really, really well. So that's something for you to look forward to. Today is Bob Marley's birthday, February 6th. Another Bob Marley song will come later on in the show. I sit down with my guests for the headlines, Dr. Kweku Anani Jinde and Bernard Odo-Techi. Lots of stuff in the news. We'll keep an eye on that earthquake that affected Turkey and Syria. We'll try and get some perspectives on that as well. You stick around. Don't go anywhere. Sports news